Part 22. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 211. 211 Chapter 211 is Afraid Not a Fool. Luzixin rushed out, but the movement in the locomotive repair shop still did not stop. Luzixin asked RI-8901, what happened to it? The energy fluctuations on the body of the machine are very unstable, and this situation is still going on. RI-8901 said, Master, want me to destroy it? Say, RI-8901 is ready to open the combat mode, ready to force the destruction of this crazy locomotive. Don't, Luzixin quickly stopped and said, it doesn't have a weapon system, it can't destroy anything. A locomotive repair shop, I still have to pay for it. I have to ask first, what happened? Luzixin quickly went to 10,000 in the 10,000 Realms Science and Technology Chat Group. I used the imitation mechanical equations for a locomotive, but it suddenly went crazy and ran into it everywhere. Fortunately, Optimus Prime immediately returned the news, motorcycle, are you using level 1 to imitate mechanical equations? Mr. L, yeah. Optimus Prime said, well, this situation is possible. Level 1 is not mature enough to mimic mechanical equations. It may cause some defects and malfunctions in use now. It should be a problem during the life opening process, resulting in unable to deform and energy leaking. Red Queen, emoticon, I am afraid it is not a fool. Optimus Prime, it can be said that now it has become an idiot in human terms. It is a congenital mental retardation. It wants to be deformed, but it has not succeeded, so it can only be smashed everywhere. Mr. L. Luzixin absolutely didn't think that. He just wanted to experience the legendary deformation equation. Who knows that he has created a mental retardation? He looks at the locomotive repair shop. Now that locomotive is still rambling inside, it makes a loud noise. Mr. L, what about this situation now? Do you want to destroy it? Optimus Prime, in general, destruction is the most appropriate. Red Queen, Haraha, the emoticon of gloating, the group owner created a mental retardation. Red Queen, transformed Red Queen, no deformation, sorry, we are not a group. Mr. L, it's a pity. I worked hard all night and now it ruined a locomotive repair shop. Optimus Prime, in this case, it can still be remedied, but the consequences are still a bit unstable. Mr. L, what? Optimus Prime, level 1 mimics the energy and transformation of mechanical equations is not high. Do you have another piece? If you use that piece, it should be almost the same. Just like this, there are some problems with 30% in its intelligence and personality. See how you decide. Luzixin asked, if there is no problem, what is the difference between it and the car? Optimus Prime, only the best mechanical life can become a car man, it is not enough. On our planet Cybertron, when mechanical life is created, it will be given life by fire at that time. Like the firstborn of human beings, we need to learn materials and improve ourselves to grow. That is, a blank sheet of paper, it is a good person or a bad person. But by imitating mechanical equations, some information has already been stored in the molecular structure, so once it is born, the character may be fixed. Character, won't it be a villain? Luzixin asked worriedly. Red Queen, emoticon, nothing, there is me. Mr. L, you are more dangerous. Optimus Prime, the core material of our design is that we will not be evil, at least when we are born. Luzixin faced the choice of either using another level 1 imitation equation or destroying the locomotive. The ruin of the first locomotive that he worked so hard to destroy, he really can't bear it, but another piece is also very valuable. After thinking about it for a while, Luzixin said, forget it, I still use it, so that if I use a mental retardation next time, then both pieces are wasted. Only after he finished speaking in the group, he heard a loud noise and saw that the locomotive broke through the wall and rushed out of the locomotive repair shop. Then, it was surrounded by chaos and circles. Zhangqiang, grab it, Lu Zixin quickly ordered, right, don't destroy it. Ri-8901 is a bit difficult. It is very simple to kill this locomotive directly, but it can't be destroyed. It is very difficult. Even with electromagnetic interference, it is possible to destroy the locomotive. At this time, the locomotive is still in the circle, not running far. If you let it run, at its speed, you can rush to the sea in less than 10 minutes. Or rushed into the city, causing riots. Right, give it to it, it will calm down. Lu Zixin handed it the level 1 to mimic the mechanical equation block. Ri-8901 is on, don't look big, it seems very bulky, but the speed of moving is not slower than the vehicle. It rushed over and the locomotive could feel its presence and hit it directly. Ri-8901 did not shy away and reached out to stop it. Hey, the solid metal shock, the locomotive hit the Ri-8901, but the locomotive that could break the wall, couldn't help the robot Ri-8901. To the surprise of Lu Zixin, the locomotive actually has nothing to do. You know, with the general metal strength, Ri-8901 can be flattened with a punch. It seems that imitating mechanical equations really strengthens the metal atoms of the locomotive, and it is now estimated to be an unknown alloy. The locomotive seems to be a bit conscious and feels that this person can't be beaten. Ri-8901 rushed up and grabbed the rear of the car. The locomotive didn't feel good. The rocket accelerated the system, and the turbulent fire appeared in the exhaust pipe. If there are other people present, I am afraid to be scared to death by this scene. A car actually ran away, and dragged a person. The Ri-8901 pulled the rear of the car and turned the car over, trying to control the faucet. The locomotive swayed from side to side, and even played a 180-degree drift, trying to get rid of the Ri-8901. However, Ri-8901 caught too hard and it couldn't get rid of Ri-8901. The locomotive was driving on the road, encountered some vehicles, and even wanted to rampage. The vehicles encountered hurriedly braked, and the drivers screamed. Are you crazy? So riding a locomotive, I want to die. Alarm, this person must have drunk too much. Lu Zixin only saw two eyes, and the Ri-8901 and the locomotive disappeared into his field of vision. Lu Zixin quickly rushed into the locomotive repair shop, found a well-preserved locomotive, and started to catch up. The Ri-8901 moves very quickly, breaking through the protective film that mimics the mechanical equations and pressing it on the locomotive. This level 1 equation block is once again integrated into the interior of the locomotive and begins unfinished modifications. The locomotive really stabilized a lot. Although it was still driving, it did not deliberately swing around, and the speed gradually slowed down, but it was still over speed. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 212. 212 Chapter Machine Day. Ri-8901 tries to control the direction so that it doesn't hit other things. The locomotive drove along the road and headed for the city. Later, when Lu Zixin drove, he dialed Su Wenbin's phone and shouted, "Suzone, I have a little trouble here." At this time, Su Wenbin was still half awake, and when Lu Zixin said that he was in trouble, he was immediately awakened. He quickly asked, "What happened? Is it true that people in Guanghai have repented?" "No, there is a traffic accident, you need to help deal with it." Lu Zixin said that the locomotive repair shop was ruined most of the time, this thing really needs Su Wenbin to adjust. Also, this locomotive is running wild and will definitely have traffic police to deal with it. "Traffic accidents, how are people?" Su Wenbin asked. "People are fine and lose money," Lu Zixin said. "That's good." Su Wenbin sighed in relief, people did not have an accident, it would be a good deal. He said, where is the location? Luzixin said the place. Su Wenbin immediately got up and prepared to deal with it. On the other hand, the RI-8901 has already entered the outskirts of the city on a locomotive. The situation of the locomotive has been much more stable, but the evolution of mechanical life has not yet been completely completed. Luzixin continues to chase and has already seen the shadow of the locomotive. Fortunately, it is early in the morning, there are fewer people on the road, or the trouble is big. The locomotive exploded a burst of electromagnetic fluctuations, the direction was a little uncontrolled, and a storefront on the roadside rushed over. That is a video store, selling some genuine videotapes, as well as speakers, headphones, and other equipment. The door is locked and the door has not been opened yet, but through the window, you can see the neatly placed speaker products and the poster of the singer. Seeing that it was about to hit, RI-8901 forcibly reversed the direction of the locomotive. The locomotive, like a stubborn cow, refused to shake and competed with the RI-8901. As the distance got closer, the RI-8901 took a shot at the head of the locomotive and knocked out the body with a palm print. However, the locomotive broke through the window and crashed into the video store. Fortunately, the locomotive finally stopped. Luzixin is relaxed at the back. Is this the security point? The storefront of the street is closed to the door, but it is inhabited on the upper floor, but no one has come over to see it. Luzixin approached, RI-8901 said, Master, its situation has stabilized. Well, I am going to lose money. Luzixin looked at the messy storefront and was helpless. And the gray-faced locomotive began to deform. Just like the Transformers, let Luzixin's dazzling changes, the locomotive turned into anthropomorphic form, stood up. It is estimated to be more than 2 meters high, 2 wheels stand on the ground in parallel, and a steel head is grown. Luzixin found that this mechanical structure itself seems to have never been designed. Is it generated by itself? As for the other parts, it is also composed of the mechanical mechanism of the locomotive. Compared with the large block of transformers, the modified locomotive is very slim, probably because of the small amount of metal material used. However, mechanical life is different from organic life. The physical form of organic life is limited, but mechanical life can be assembled at will and add its own body structure. As long as the core program is not destroyed, it is still live. The locomotive touched his head and made a metallic sound. He said, What happened? The head hurts. On its head, there is a clear palm print, which was just taken by RI-8901. The locomotive also discovered it. It was surprised. What kind of ghost thing, was I born with such an ugly birthmark? What the fuck? It squinted at the head and said in an unbearable tone, Which potter's maker made me, Scorpio? How can I be so thin? Is this mechanical life? If they are on the planet, they will be jokes. I am thin. Luzixin asked with doubts, You shouldn't be a broken brain. What, your brain is only WTH, the locomotive spit out. I am normal, although it is a little difficult to produce. RI-8901 shouted, Respect for the owner has given you life. You are my manufacturer. The locomotive wakes up and says to Luzixin, Unrespected and disrespectful, according to normal ethical concepts, you should be me. But there is one thing I have to say. What is your aesthetic? I could have been very powerful. Wouldn't you have to use a little more steel? You shouldn't be poor. 3 generations, Scorpio. Why am I? Bad luck. There is no local tyrant, so I can add all kinds of rare metal accessories. Luzixin looks black. This guy really, as Optimus Prime said, is a bit abnormal, born with a spray attribute. Will you have it later? He immediately educated, You guy, speak politely. RI-8901 cooperated with his own iron fist. The locomotive helplessly said, Well, I still want to educate me with violence. Hey, tired. Right, what is my name? It won't be taken yet, asked the locomotive. Well, I haven't taken it yet, I think about it. Luzixen didn't expect the locomotive to become like this, and most people wouldn't name their motorcycles. Don't think about it, I think about it myself. The locomotive touched his head with a robotic arm and said, although I am a little innate, but in the locomotive, it should be considered a hegemonic level. In this case, then I will call it a fighter. Pu, Luzixen almost squirted out of old blood. Is this name called export? When he calls the locomotive in the future, he wants to shout a machine tyrant. It sounds too indecent. No, you have to change one, Luzixen said. What, the fighter does not work, the name of this mighty domineering, the locomotive was dissatisfied, and the RI-8901 next to it raised the palm of his hand again. It immediately whispered, the wicked guy threatens me, I hate you big chunks, a look is a foundation, cursing your future wife is a garbage truck. RI-8901 doesn't care, it's not a mechanical life, and it doesn't like the car hobby. The locomotive thought again and said, since the machine can't do it, what about the machine, what is better than what Optimus Prime and the horror of the day? No, you will be beaten by this name, Luzixen said, I still want to think about it, it is called white. The locomotive spewed out a piece of gasoline and sprinkled it on the ground. He said, you are more old, do you still have a little black? Yes, my car's artificial intelligence is called Little Black, just in black and white, Luzixen calmly said. Is Little Black a mother? The locomotive immediately came to the interest. Long beautiful, Daddy, have you ordered a doll for me? It's really beautiful, don't worry about playing bachelor. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 213. 213. The 213 chapter of Teddy's Dream. Don't think too much. Luzixen broke its illusion. Little Black is just a vehicle-based artificial intelligence program, and it's still non-autonomous. Nothing. The locomotive suddenly became stunned. It turned out to be just an inflatable doll. Shut up, Luzixen couldn't help it. The locomotive was really broken and thinking very much. You are rampant when you are born, destroying a lot of things, and your head is iron, so your name is called Iron Head, Luzixen said. Iron Doll, the locomotive was dissatisfied. This name doesn't sound very good, I think. That's it, Iron Head, Luzixen didn't give it a chance to refute it, positioning its name as an Iron Head. The Iron Head is no longer willing to accept this title. Luzixen confessed, listen clearly, without my permission, in the future, you must not become anthropomorphic in front of others, and keep the locomotive. If someone wants to ride me, how to do? Iron Baby asked. I'm as noble people of Cybertron Star, if wretched guy I ride, I cannot help but hit him. Of course, if it is a beautiful girl, I will not be embarrassed. And, this part of my body is too bad, you look at this big man, what kind of laser weapon, electromagnetic weapon is a lot, why do I have nothing, after going out and losing people, I am not losing your old man face. So, I need a laser eye, press it on the headlights, and burn the enemy into ash and wood in minutes. Right, the energy of gasoline is too garbage, we all use energy blocks. This rocket acceleration system needs to be improved, it is best to install a tail, if necessary, to fly, the locomotive that does not fly, must be a salted fish. Shut up, Luzixen shouted, the problem comes one by one. Now is not the time to say this, you first become a locomotive, I will handle your embarrassing things. T2WA is reluctant, it is about to become a locomotive, suddenly saw the various singer posters and tapes in the store, and suddenly came to the interest. It pressed the button next to an old-fashioned phonograph, and the melodious music sounded. The iron doll called out, "What a wonderful sound, Daddy, look at this, I was born in the ocean of music." "What does this mean? Great musicians were born when they were born with music, and I will be a great musician in the future, that's right, that's it." T2WA said, actually still excited, it seems that he has really become a musician. At this time, there was a noisy voice coming from outside, and it was so big here that someone came over to see it. "Come back," Luzixon said, and the iron-head baby changed back to the locomotive. "Two middle-aged people are coming," shouted here, "what are you doing, thieves?" Luzixon was helpless and went out and explained, "One of my friends was drunk and hit the bike here, I will be responsible." Drink too much, the two looked into the store, and it was indeed a locomotive that crashed into it. The RI-8901 also pretends to be drunk. "You have destroyed the shops of others, you need compensation, you don't want to go, I will contact the owner now." Luzixon also stayed with him, and soon the owner came, and it was very angry to see this scene, but Luzixon said that he could fully compensate for the resulting business losses. In addition, the illegal driving before the iron-head baby was also solved by Su Wenbin, and it was not a problem for Luzixon. The biggest trouble is the thing of the locomotive repair shop. T2 knocked over the locomotive repair shop. In addition to the equipment, the wall, and the locomotives of Su Xiuying and others, Luzixon had to clean up the mess. When he went to the locomotive repair shop, the owner of the video store found something. "How come so many tapes, was it stolen?" When I was confused, the owner of the video store wondered, and he was relieved when he was random. "Take him, it should be sold." The man lost money, enough to make up for the loss. The locomotive repair shop is now in the morning. Su Xiuying was the first to arrive. She received a call from her dad in the morning and said that the locomotive repair shop had an accident, so she rushed to and Ajeng. When she arrived, she was shocked by the sight. There was a mess in the entire repair shop, like 100 car accidents, and there was almost no good equipment. And the cars in their locomotive clubs are also damaged in large and small. What puzzles her the most is that there is a locomotive-shaped hole on the wall of the locomotive repair shop. "How did you do that? Driving from the inside out? How is this possible? Abba, what the hell is going on here? Was it bombarded by missiles?" Su Xiuying asked loudly. Su Wenbin is also very puzzled. What did Luzixon do here? He thought of Zhang Qiang's performance at that time. Was the guy drunk and broke a pass here? This destructive power is too strong. The average person can't really stop. Su Wenbin said slyly, "A little accident, it is already like this anyway, but you can rest assured that Mr. Lu will pay you all." Luzixon also said, "I am sorry, I will compensate for all the losses here. If there are any other aspects, I will pay for the price." "You lose, do you know how much these values are?" Ajing is also crazy. "What equipment is all we buy together? At least 10 million Taiwan dollars. There are also those locomotives that we have worked hard to assemble and renovate. The most expensive one is worth NT$ 3 million, you destroyed them all." "Well, I am sorry, I will compensate for this." Luzixon reluctantly, before the incident, he did not know that it would become like this. Su Wenbin rounded the scene for him. "You can rest assured that this money is a slap in the face of Mr. Lu. I can guarantee him you can find me directly. But those locomotives are the ones that we worked hard to assemble and study, and we still have to compete today." Su Xiuying screamed. She wanted to swear at Luzixon, but she still had no face in the face of father. "The game I can't participate this time, and next time." Su Wenbin said, "I will provide you with NT$ 5 million in sponsorship." Luzixon said, "If I add NT$ 10 million, I will be aggrieved." "Is this 15 million? Ajing is a little embarrassed. Is money so easy?" The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huodong. Chapter 214. 214 Chapter 214 Chapters. You don't understand, Su Xiuying said in a hurry. We have prepared for today's game for a long time, this way, the painstaking efforts are all in vain. This, Lu Zixin also felt a little overwhelmed and said, can you use another locomotive? How do ordinary locomotives go to the competition? Su Xiuying asked. Would you assemble one, or buy a racing locomotive? Lu Zixin asked. No, it's time to get it now. Su Xiuying looked at the time and said, a little game starts in the afternoon, now at 7 o'clock in the morning, it is not enough. At this time, other members of their club also came to the scene, seeing this scene, inevitably surprised and angry. Although there are compensation, they are still very persistent about the game. Hong Zhen went to check his locomotive and said, my car has only a small problem, and now I can catch up with the game. He said, he started to repair it. My car, scrapped, Su Xiuying said, looking at Lu Zixin with an angry look. Lu Zixin said, would you like this? Only you and Hong Zhen are right in the competition. Hong Zhen car can use it yourself, use this one for you, can't you participate? He pointed to the iron-headed baby. Although the iron-headed doll is now in the form of a locomotive, their words can be fully understood. It is very eager to stand up and express their opinions, but given that Ri-8901 is next to it, it can only hold back. Your car, Su Xiuying was awkward, and she was really shocked by Lu Zixin. If you can go to the competition with a single locomotive, what else does the professional racing car play? And Lu Zixin, the car has been eliminated. When a scooter is okay, racing, it is sleepwalking. My car has been remodeled, Lu Zixin said. Don't believe it? Su Xiuying took a closer look and found out that it was different, and it was a very weird feeling. After the transformation of Lu Zixin and Zhang Qiang, it was different. When the locomotive became a mechanical live iron doll, it itself made atomic changes to the metal, and the overall structure was smoother. At first glance, very comfortable, like a piece of science and technology. This car, Su Xiuying reveals the confused emoticon, really modified. You really modified it, Hong Zhen also wondered, he was just a joke, who knows that Lu Zixin is really modified, do you want to compare with me? It's better than nothing, you are happy. Lu Zixin didn't take it seriously. The other's locomotive couldn't compare with him. He was already a mechanical life. He, you can't just modify it, the locomotive will have problems, Hong Zhen said. Su Xiuying also reacted, if the modification, resulting in various mechanical parts, are not coordinated, but it is a major event. She sighed, forget it, I will think again. Ajing, how is your car? A quiet shook his head and said, bad, there is a part that has not been changed now. Can you only retire? Su Xiuying was very reluctant. The locomotive was her favorite. It was prepared for so long, and it was going to be on the field. At this time, she suddenly retired. It is regrettable that others are difficult to understand. Hey, this locomotive has something. At this moment, a member of the club exclaimed. He crouched down and carefully watched the power system and acceleration system of the iron head. The above accessories, a look at the advanced products. Drip, at this moment, the locomotive sounded an alarm. This is the iron head baby who is dissatisfied with him. He is visited like a monkey and touched everywhere. This is an insult to it. I have never seen this engine before, where is it produced, how big is the horsepower? Not only him, but others have been surprised to study it. Looking closely, I found that the modification of this locomotive is really good. Structural design, mechanical parts, cannot find anything wrong, at first glance is the professional level staff to do. And a lot of structure, they have not seen it before. Lu Zixin didn't want to explain more, he said directly, this is the transformation of the top machinery manufacturer I brought from the mainland, and the performance definitely does not belong to any race locomotive. This is the technology of the mainland. Everyone has revealed the emoticon of surprise. It must be known that in the motor vehicle manufacturing industry, only those developed countries are the most famous, and the top locomotive brands in the mainland have never heard of it. Can I experience it? Asked a locomotive enthusiast. Drips, the iron head once again sounded an alarm. Everyone didn't care, thinking that this was a normal alarm system. However, when a guy touched the engine, T2wa finally couldn't help it. He said, "Hey, hello, say you, don't mess." It opened its mouth and shocked everyone. The locomotive will still speak. Hell. Luzixon is also slightly frowned. This ironhead baby is not so good, not very disciplined. It seems that I have to find a time to special education. Is it talking? The man was stunned and exclaimed. What's the way to talk? I know artificial intelligence, this is the car intelligent voice system, T2wa explained. In-vehicle intelligent voice system, everyone is puzzled by this explanation. Su Xiuying said curiously, I only heard that the car voice system is installed on the super sports car. Is there also on the locomotive? Of course, T2wa is much better at the beauty of the beauty. And I am still very smart, beauty, do we want to go for a ride? It's amazing, can I ride it? Asked the person who touched the engine. When you go, wretched man, Taitu said unceremoniously. The man was suddenly embarrassed and was stunned by the locomotive. Did he still go back? This is really voice intelligence, how is the dialogue so smooth? Hong Zhen asked. Luzixon hasn't explained yet. Su Wenbin has already expressed his feelings and said, every time I see the intelligent voice system of Red Letter, I am surprised that I can't. He wants to represent Red Letter smartphones and naturally understands Red Letter's intelligent voice system. He explained to Luzixon, it can be said that in the smart voice, Red Letter is definitely the best in the world. Red Letter, is that Red Letter mobile phone, Hong Zhen remembers, now the network is so developed, a thing is famous, the world can get news. Yes, Su Wenbin said. That is amazing, Su Xiuying said, she also experienced the smart voice of the Red Letter mobile phone, since the car is also used in the program, this dialogue is not surprising. However, why the mobile phone's smart voice feels very polite, the voice of this locomotive is a bit different. This car seems to be really different, Su Xiuying asked, can I really ride? Of course, the Ironhead doll screamed a few times and said, you should ride me beautifully, the old driver is ready to drive. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 215. 215 Chapter 215 Chapter Innate Talent. This voice is really cumbersome, who designed it? Ajing was dissatisfied. T2wa retorted, as a locomotive, is there anything wrong with this, Xiok, is your mind unhealthy? Ajing was speechless by it, Su Xiuying said with a smile, Ajing, a smart program, you still tell it reason. Su Xiuying still sat on the Ironhead baby and went out to try. As soon as the result goes out, it is an hour. How did you go so long, how is the car, asked the companions. Su Xiuying's pretty face was full of surprises and said, it's too fierce, almost instantaneous acceleration, the horsepower is far more than the one I used before this game has a play. Is it really so strong? Everyone looked curiously at the Ironhead, and they really wanted to know how the car was. Hong Zhen questioned, is it better than my locomotive? Well, great, Su Xiuying affirmed. Hong Zhen, you lost, someone snarled. Hong Zhen denied, the locomotive is not so comparable, just waiting for the competition, and comparing it on the court. My car is a race type specially designed for the competition locomotive. The all-island locomotive racing venue is located in the motorized circuit in the suburbs. In order to compete, various obstacles have been specially set up here. They arrived 3 hours in advance, and when Su Xiuying and others went through the relevant formalities, Lu Zixin deliberately pulled the iron head to the room for education. "You brat is too bold, this time dare to speak, is it still ready to be deformed next time?" Lu Zixin scolded. Ironhead said indifferently, "Isn't that just a word, they already believe that I am a smart voice." "The point is that you didn't listen to me," Lu Zixin stressed. "This is a serious warning to you except for voice, you can't show other abilities, otherwise I will build a garage to lock you in. See you still everywhere wave." Tituwa immediately recognized it and said, "Daddy, I am wrong, I don't want to be shut down in Little Black House. I swear by your reputation, I will never show any other abnormal behavior. And, in the future, the language is polite, don't humiliate me," Lu Zixin stressed. "Do not worry, Dad, I will only earn you light right, should I not swear by the pledge," Taitu said, "my dream is to become a musician, superstar." "You still sing?" Lu Zixin wondered. "Of course, I have learned a lot of things," said the Ironhead. The front of the car was opened, and there were several small music devices inside, and even the nostalgic tapes in the audiovisual store. "When did you improve?" Lu Zixin wondered. "When I was taking a ride with my sister. Would you like me to sing it to you?" Tituwa still sang without waiting for Lu Zixin to agree. "I am a little bird, how to fly, and fly is not high. Its sound is inherently metallic, and if the sound is raised, it is pure noise. And this guy's voice system does not know how it is constructed, sings out without a word on the tone, it is difficult to hear the explosion." "Hi Wool, shut up," Lu Zixin couldn't help himself. "Don't sing." "How, I sang well," Iron-Headed Baby proudly said, "I have learned other things, do you want to listen again? This is the best car music in the world. Time will never return, the past can only be reminiscent." The Ironhead sings and sings and sings again, Lu Zixin bursts into the blue, and can't wait to give it a foot. "You are enough," Lu Zixin shouted, "it must be that when you were born, your brain broke, give up, you didn't sing innate talent." Tituwa did not care about his blows. Instead, he was full of fighting spirit and said, "Daddy, do you want me to give up my dreams? That is great. If I participate in the talent show in the future, I can say that my family I have always strongly opposed my dreams, but I have always adhered to the ideal, the audience will be very touched." "Someone is coming, shut up," Lu Zixin said. Someone knocked at the door outside. Lu Zixin opened the door, a young girl dressed in a staff. She saw Lu Zixin with a smile on her face. Lu Zixin wondered, "Do you have anything?" The staff said, "Hi, hello, can you sing a little less, it may affect other people." Lu Zixin can see that she is smiling, because the song just was too ugly. Lu Zixin can only say with a hard scalp, "Okay." As soon as the staff left, Lu Zixin shouted, "Call you not to sing, people complain." "Cut, these vulgar people don't understand it, the great musicians are lonely." Tituwa is not ashamed and proud. In the contestants' rest area, Su Xiuying is preparing, she is replaced by a professional driver's suit, which is more aggressive. "Su Xiuying, you want to also come to the competition, it is really rare, you can compete at this level," a man's voice sounded. Su Xiuying looked sideways and saw a short-haired young man. This guy she knows, is another named White Hawk Motorcycle Club, has had a match with her Hemu Locomotive Club, and also produced a little friction. When the two clubs competed, because of the violation of the other party, one of their partners was injured in hospital, comminuted fracture, and now the legs and feet are not convenient, cannot participate. The two sides also fought in the game for this fight. Cao Ching, Su Xiuying Lu Mei picked, coldly snorted, and said, "I said how bad luck today, I met you." Cao Ching said with a smile, "It's enough bad luck, because you will be on the court, you will be bad luck." "Is it a foul, is it cheating?" Ah Jing was taunted on the side. I heard that someone has bought a peripheral bet in advance, and there is an insider. The background of the White Eagle Motorcycle Club is not small. It has something to do with Guanghai Group. Before, there was a history of buying gambling and then using cheating to win the game. Cao Ching disdain said, "Oh, others, you have this ability right, the two little girls are still grinding tofu, tisk tisk, it is a waste of resources." "You courting death," Su Xiuying shouted. "Why, do you want to fight? I never fight with a woman if it is in bed, then I can consider it," Cao Ching said with a smile. Su Xiuying really wanted to do one with him. Someone immediately said, "I have to argue and quarrel." She took a sigh of relief and said, "Wait, see you at the stadium, this time you lose your pants." "Ha ha ha, frankly treat each other." Cao Ching is still laughing. Su Xiuying has pulled a jing out, she does not want to argue with this guy. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 216. 216 Chapter 216 comes with BGM. The game is finally about to begin. Lu Zixin becomes an audience, next to Su Wenbin and his wife, the daughter contest. They also came to support the encouragement. This competition is a race and obstacle crossing, the distance is long, so they can only wait at the end. In the middle of the time, we'll watch the game through real-time monitoring. On the starting line of the competition, dozens of locomotives and players have already sat down and ready to wait for the firing of guns. Su Xiuying rode on the iron head, holding his breath, nervous, ready to start the engine. Next to her, Hong Zhen rode his own repaired locomotive, which claimed to be his most proud work, which cost nearly 2 million Taiwan dollars. The other players, who are also riding the race locomotive, are also dyed with different paints and signs, and they are handsome. Before the game, Su Xiuying had already known these opponents. There are certain levels of participation in the competition, in addition to members of private clubs, as well as professional racing drivers of big brands, such as Honda, Harley, Yamaha, and so on. In particular, there are opponents like Cao Ching who are very strong and despicable. If this guy's team really buys a peripheral bet for the game, then he will definitely use the means and be careful. It's up to you. Su Xiuying clenched the handlebars, and the iron-headed baby said with a smile, "Haha, it's time for this uncle to show his talents. These slags dare to compete with this uncle, I want to hang it all." The sound of the iron-headed doll attracted the racing drivers around and looked at it. What doubts were made? The game is still open. Is this a children's playground? Cao Ching said with a smile. The surrounding racer's face also showed a smile. The game cannot be distracted for a moment. Because this is a speed sport, if you are not careful, it will be dead. In the motorcycle races over the years, there have been cases of injuries and deaths. What is the difference between this simple game and the children's playground? Ironhead said, to win you, it's as simple as playing a game. It speaks without going through the brain, or its brain is not normal, and all of the hatred of everyone is attracted to Su Xiuying. A big tone, who is talking? A professional racer said with a sneer. He is a celebrity in the racing world and has won many honors in world-class competitions. Su Xiuying secretly annoyed and whispered to the Ironhead, "Don't you talk nonsense. I am just telling the truth, let them prepare for the loss." T2 continued. The big words don't hesitate. The other players looked at Su Xiuying's eyes with hostility. This player didn't know who to talk to, and he was too mad. Su Xiuying is really helpless. She really wants to ask, how can I turn off this smart voice? In the audience, Su Xiuying's companions are also heartbroken. Can the locomotive with intelligent voice really work? The game started, and the event commentator was already excited. Begin, This is the biennial island locomotive racing competition. You can see that all the players have started the locomotive and started a new challenge. No, there is one. The player is a little slower, it may be a bit nervous. Is there a problem with the locomotive? I saw that all the players had already set off on the broadcast screen, but Su Xiuying still stayed in place. She is anxious to start the engine, but the car does not move. Bad luck. Is it really broken at this time? I have checked it. Su Xiuying rushed his sweat on his forehead. Seeing this scene, Lu Zixin is also confused. What kind of ghost is the Iron Head? This guy is really not worrying. Sisters, don't worry, let them be a little for a while, otherwise it will be too simple to win, Tito said without hesitation. Nervous disease, quick movement, Su Xiuying shouted. Hey, since you have taken the initiative to ask, then I will move. Screaming, after the Iron Head baby finished, the engine made a roaring sound. The car in front has gone far, and the commentator said, unfortunately, it is a pity that the 15 player may have a problem with the car. It seems that he has no chance to compete with this game. When his voice fell, he saw a car shadow smashing out and chasing the locomotive in front. The acceleration of the Iron Head baby is too fast. From the perspective of the audience, only a shadow flashed through the picture and quickly chased the past. My God, this startup speed is too fierce. What kind of car is this? Someone in the audience exclaimed. I didn't see it clearly, just like the rocket launch. She is going to catch up so soon. This is opening. Everyone clearly saw that the distance between Su Xiuying and the former player was close at a speed visible to the naked eye. The narrator was also excited and said, what did I see? The 15 locomotives locomotive is almost unbelievable, and she will soon be keeping up with the team. When he finished the sentence, Tituo had already chased the big troops with Su Xiuying. The player behind is heart startled. How do you catch up with it so fast? Hello, everyone, I am coming, Tituo said. Yes, the strong players should play BGM, I will sing a song for everyone. The direction of the road, shining on my heart, the distant frontiers, as I go to the far side, the Iron Head. The melodious singing sounded on the track, almost letting a few drivers distracted. Rely, neuropathy, actually put this song, still so ugly, immediately could not help but swear. Fortunately, the audience can only see the picture, listening to the voice of the commentator, or let them hear the BGM, I am afraid that they will stand up and cannot help but yell, and quit the ticket. Su Xiuying didn't have time to stop the Iron Head, because the speed of the Iron Head was too fast. She held the handlebars tightly in her hands and noticed the direction in front. Moreover, the airflow resistance encountered is too great. If you are not attentive, you will be blown off directly. In the BGM of T2WA, Su Xiuying's position has been counted from the bottom, directly into the top 10. So fast, Hong Zhen looked at Su Xiuying over the side, full of horror. Generally, overtaking also requires a certain distance to complete, but Su Xiuying's overtaking is completely done within a short distance. It's like a locomotive is easier than a runner, but they are not passers-by, they are racers, and they are still driving at high speed. The narrator is crazy, the speed of the 15 player is too fast. She is like a lightning bolt, passing through the traffic. Now she is already the 9th. If this continues, she will be in the first place in a few minutes. I explained the game for 9 years for the first time. I saw the car that accelerated so fast. What kind of car did she drive? Is it the latest world-class racing car? The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 217. 217. Chapter 217 is different for us. The audience was also shocked by this speed. The sprint time is too amazing, the game has just begun. She caught up. The world-class racing player who had just dismissed Su Xiuying was already nervous. He was already a top-class racing car, and he was technically world-class. How could he be so easily overtaken by the other party? The in-laws riding on the motorcycle, keeping zero distance on the highway. T2wa changed another song, letting Su Xiuying listen to him. At this time, she has already sprinted to the top 3, in front, it is Cao Qing and others. Damn, how did she catch up? Cao Qing was shocked. In the rearview mirror, it can be clearly seen that Su Xiuying's locomotive has been shrinking at a distance from his car. In this competition, he and the club behind him pressed a big bet. If he can get the first place, he will make a big profit. Even if he is second or third, he can make a lot of money. But if the first 3 can't enter, it is blood loss. Cao Qing's eyes were cold, and the car was shifted a little, blocking the front of Su Xiuying. Su Xiuying is preparing to overtake from the other side, but there is another car in front of which adjusts the direction in front of her. The racer and Cao Qing are a club. A long road, every time Su Xiuying wants to overtake, will be blocked. The iron-headed baby was dissatisfied and shouted, "The first 2 girls dare to block the road, sister, I will bring you super god." The iron head of the iron head acceleration device opened, the fire in the exhaust pipe rushed up. The front is a sharp bend, Su Xiuying's eyes widened, and the sharp bend also accelerated the overtaking, 99% will roll over. This kind of thing is so common in the locomotive race. Playing games, how can you not surpass the gods? T2wa did not accept control at all, but continued to accelerate. The player behind me was overjoyed and wary of keeping a distance from her car. Such a sharp bend is too large, it must be highly inclined, and the locomotive has only 2 wheels. Once the angle of inclination is large, it will definitely roll over. It's naive, Cao Qing smiled in his heart, while controlling the body to lean and prepare to bend. The narrator also shouted, "To be bent, the 15 player is still accelerating if he wants to overtake, she is not afraid of rolling over." Su Xiuying grabbed the handle, and the foot stepped on the pedal to clamp the body. The iron-head baby had tilted the body to the level close to the ground. She could not control it. In her experience, it was necessary to roll over. British sister, Ajing stood up nervously and looked at the picture with concern. "She is too anxious," the companions frowned. This road should not be overtaken. However, when Su Xiuying felt that he was about to overturn the car, a stream of air was sprayed on the side of the body to support the car body. This was the balance device that Luzixen added when it was designed, and it was started by the iron head. I saw the super sharp turn on the track. Su Xiuying's locomotive drifted almost in the way of the ground, wearing the past from the locomotive of Cao Qing and others, to achieve the corner overtaking, rushed to the first. "What, is there such an operation?" the commentator shouted, "it's so wonderful, this corner overtaking can definitely be listed as one of the top 10 exciting moments of the island's locomotive racing. Now the 15 player is in the first place and has an absolute advantage." British sister, beautiful, Ajing and others excitedly stood up and cheered Su Xiuying. "Is it more than gone?" Su Xiuying himself is a bit embarrassed. This operation is definitely not what she can do, relying entirely on this car. This car is simply God. "Ha ha ha, now the first," the iron-headed baby cried. "What about the baby? Just dare to block me, let them see and see my iron-headed baby." Said, the iron head changed its direction, just in front of Cao Qing's car, but also slowed down so that he could not accelerate forward. Cao Qing complexity changed, the other party with him. He looked at the track ahead because there was only one Su Xiuying car in front, the car was wide and there was enough space for overtaking. He moved a little on the side and wanted to speed up the overtaking. However, T2wa blocked him in real time and synchronized it in front of him. Moreover, the iron-headed baby is not blocking him. The car of his companion is also blocked by the iron-headed doll. It is super. And the car that came later, T2wa let them go over. This time, Cao Qing and his companions, only ranked, fell to the 10th. The players behind are overjoyed and just took the opportunity to overtake. The audience watched it, and the 15 locomotive was worn on the track. The snakeskin was in a position, and there was nothing to say. I rely on, 15, this is a trick show operation, the audience spoke. Is this guy too skinned, not afraid of falling behind, not afraid of being hit? I saw the scene for the first time after watching the game for a few years. It was so funny, ha 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 ha. Cao Ching's temper is not light, and his heart is awkward, damn it's brain dead, you don't play and drag on Laozi. But how urgent is he, how to operate the locomotive, is beyond the iron head, unless he dares to hit it directly. However, his speed could not touch the iron head, and he could only be anxious. Not only that, T2wa also sang a song, we are different, everyone has a different situation, we are here, waiting for you here. Hearing the voice of the five-tone insufficiency, Cao Ching almost vomited blood. But he has no choice but to play so many times, this is his most awkward one. T2wa suppressed him for a while. Seeing that Cao Ching had already distanced himself from the car in front, it was difficult to get a place, and then he accelerated again. He overtook the car in front and quickly reached the first place. The end point is close at hand. A red line stopped in front, Su Xiuying's eyes widened, that is the end, she will be the first? Her thoughts couldn't keep up with the speed of the car, and the iron-headed baby had already crossed the finish line, and the whole audience screamed and shouted. The narrator is also excitedly said, 15 number, the 15 number won the first, she not only won the first, but also broke the history of our island locomotive contest, this is the speed. Ah, the audience shouted for the champions, and Su Xiuying's teammates also stood up and shouted at her excitedly. British sister, good. British sister champion. First, you have succeeded. Everyone is excited and can't be self-satisfied, and Su Xiuying, who has just stopped slowing down, is still a bit stunned. Is this the first? Just like dreaming. The iron-head baby is enjoying the cheers of the audience. It is proud to say, isn't the strength of this uncle not blown, now I just want to sing high songs. How invincible, how lonely, how invincible, how empty. In the song of T2wa, the players behind them broke through the end, but they all gathered their attention on XXIX player Su Xiuying. The experience just made Su Xiuying not only a little embarrassed, but also caused a lot of heart shadow on them. Is there still such a game? Let them wait for a few minutes, then sing songs, while the snakeskin walks, swings left and right, and bends over the extreme to overtake, easily get the first. I feel that these people, they are simply not regarded as opponents. This is too difficult for them to accept. I got the second and third professional players, and I feel very wrong, because the gap between them and the first is too big. The most uncomfortable thing is Cao Ching and his companions. Because of the revenge of T2wa, they didn't even enter the top 10. There is no doubt that the external bet must be lost. Blood lost to the explosion. What car is that? Our car definitely can't do this, acceleration and balance are too strong, the players focused on Su Xiuying's body. Su Xiuying's technology is certainly possible, but without the performance support of the locomotive, it is absolutely impossible. Not only them, the audience, the event commentators, and the practitioners of the locomotives are very curious, in the end, which company's black science and technology can actually do this. If this kind of car is on a world-class stadium, it will definitely win the championship. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 218. 218 Chapter 218 Return. Next is the awarding session, the commentator shouted, congratulations to Su Xiuying from Baitai City to win the championship of the entire island locomotive racing competition. The audience gave a warm applause. At this moment, Su Xiuying had a feeling of tears. She never dreamed that she would win this honor, although it was incredible. Su Wenbin and his wife are also proud of it, said with a smile, Xiaoying is really amazing, thanks to the Mr. Lu locomotive. Ajing wants to rush into her arms, and her passionate embrace, expressing her joy. The members of the club also celebrated in the original place. The champion not only had medal trophies, but also some other benefits, which exceeded their expectations. Hong Zhen was also happy for her. At the same time, he also really admired the Luzixin modified locomotive. I even found him specifically and said, "You have been invincible in the modification of this locomotive, I am far away, serve." Luzixin smiled and asked, "What do you think of our technology now?" "Strong," Hong Zhen said with emotion. "I am too ignorant. How did you change this locomotive?" He was very curious about the technology and couldn't help but ask. Next to Su Wenbin said, "You ask more of this, it is the technical secret of Mr. Lu." "I am offended, I am sorry." Although Hong Zhen said so, he still couldn't help but want to know. They chatted on the sidelines. On the floor, the reporter had already started asking Su Xiuying and asked her to receive her speech. "Thank you for the support of our Hemu Club partners, thank my parents," Su Xiuying thanked a bunch of people. However, the reporters are not very interested in this. They directly asked, "I have a question that everyone is very interested in just on the court. Your locomotive has been exhausted and the performance is excellent. Can you disclose it, the origins?" Su Xiuying explained, "In fact, this locomotive is a friend of the mainland who lends it to me. It is their latest product. I want to thank him here too." "What brand is it?" asked the reporter. The audience was also full of curiosity. The locomotive enthusiasts who came to see the game were also eager to know which big factory had made such a forklift locomotive. "It is a product of Red Letter Science and Technology, which has not yet been put into commercial production, so you may not find it. It is currently the only one in the world." Su Xiuying is also ready to speak. "Red Letter, haven't heard of it. Is there a locomotive brand?" Not only the audience, the professional racers are puzzled. "No, I have been a racing driver for a few years. What brand of locomotives have been riding? That is, I have not been riding this house. Is it a new brand? Is the new brand so strong? Is it faster than the Dodge Tomahawk? And its mobility, balance, braking, and shifting seem to be even better. This is definitely not something that small factories can make, /p. I can't find any red letter locomotive on the internet." The reporters still want to ask questions, but Su Xiuying does not know more. She is afraid of saying something wrong and goes directly to the background to rest. The companions were naturally encouraged to celebrate, and Su Xiuying also specifically asked Lu Zixin for his thanks. "Small things, I broke your locomotive, this is okay, I have to thank you for advertising Red Letter," Lu Zixin said. Su Xiuying said curiously, "Mr. Lu, do you have this locomotive sold? I really want to buy one. I think if it is sold in Beidou, it will definitely be sought after." Lu Zixin shook his head and said, "There is no time, but it is not fixed. The performance of this locomotive is really too strong," Su Xiuying said halfway and stopped. "It is the intelligent voice system. It seems that the design is not normal. It has been sung. The amount, this is really not designed, go back and adjust." Lu Zixin is also somewhat speechless, and now there are too many media interested in the Iron Head. He simply let Zhang Qiang take it away, and only RI-8901 can watch it, otherwise, this iron doll always does things. The competition won, Su Xiuying and others still have a lot of things. Lu Zixin is too lazy to blend. He returned to Su Wenbin's villa, ready to return to the mainland. At this time, on the network of Beidou, the video of Su Xiuying participation in the car was also posted on the social media. The title is, "The Strongest Locomotive in History, Slam the Whole Team on the Island Locomotive Race." At first, Some passers-by were attracted by the title and clicked to watch the video. When they finished reading, they were shocked. Is this a game? I have never seen a locomotive race and let others lap, and instantly accelerate, over limit corner overtaking, all kinds of incredible operations, the team locomotive players in front of that player, there is no room for confrontation. At the moment, someone has left a message, is this a movie, what is the name of the movie? The owner replied, it is not a movie, just a video of the whole island locomotive competition. If you don't believe it, you can check it online. Not a movie, some people went to check the information, and it really is true. This time, the comment area is full of fun. Is this car too bullish? My locomotive doesn't even have 1/5 of its speed. It too fast to accelerate, and it clear when you open it slowly, or it a shadow, /p. Why doesn't it roll over? How fast is its limit? What car is this? Others saw the interview and left a message, it seems to be a locomotive produced in mainland China. Many people were shocked by this, there is such a locomotive on the mainland, impossible. Absolutely impossible, never heard of it. This high science and technology is definitely the United States or the island country, Europe. I checked, the red letter that Su Xiuying said is a company that sells mobile phones. This kind of company can make such a locomotive, killing me, I don't believe it. Upstairs is a frog in well. Do you know red letters? I work on the mainland. The mobile phones of red letter have already dried up. The Apple mobile phone on the mainland. What happened to a locomotive? A fierce comment on XXXX was directly blocked. Then the netizens of Beidou began to argue, discuss the locomotive, discuss the science and technology of red letter. Many people do not believe in the strength of red letter, and also list examples of Apple and Samsung. However, some netizens have come up with examples, such as HX2 sales directly to Apple, Samsung to the big price reduction, to do various promotional activities, as well as some features of red letter smart products. What intelligent voice, smart home, lithium air battery, etc. directly hit those people to dare to refute, attracted a group of people to marvel, the level of science and technology in the mainland has reached this point. There are even entertainment programs that specifically address this issue. The so-called experts side, it can be said that the level of science and technology of red letter has been at least 10 years ahead of our science and technology company. Of course, there is also a kind of refusal to admit that it is hype and rumor. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Su Wenbin's Yawan Telecom also made a public advertisement, announcing that it has successfully represented HX2 smartphones of red letter. Yawan Telecom will represent these products that are questioned to Beidou, so that consumers can enjoy the convenience of high science and technology. Surprisingly, this time, the products of Yawan Telecom's agent red letter did not suffer any martyrdom, but it was smooth sailing. These things have been solved. Lu Zixin also embarked on the return flight, together with the props, and the propaganda to pursue the singing of the dream of the Iron Doll. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 219. 219 Chapter 219 is another area. When Lu Zixin was still on the plane, the internal group of red letter was already busy. This is because the news that he made a whim in the group before, the company has to prepare to open a subsidiary. I want to expand the scope of business again. What is Octopus going to do? Lu Tong asked. Which peers know, let's give a voice. Liang Song knows. Is Octopus not waiting for you for a month? I don't know, Liang Song replied. Octopus is here to study smart voice, and then I went to buy thunderstorm appliances and go to smart homes. That said, smart appliances are just getting started. What do Octopus have to do? Does Lao Tang know? Tang Gang also came out and spoke in the group. I don't know, Octopus didn't reveal it, there was no wind. The new subsidiary, what industry? Zhuan wondered. Does Octopus want to be financial or real estate? Forget it, don't guess, just ask Zhuan. Suzhirong asked, sister-in-law knows what subsidiary Octopus wants to open. Suzhirong, he didn't say it, I just saw the news, I just asked him, he said it later. Sell it, said Zhuan. I don't know, what a big move. So far, every subsidiary of Red Letter has achieved success. One more subsidiary means not only the expansion of the company's business scope, but also a lot of opportunities. Subsidiaries will certainly appoint new CEOs, vice presidents, and the like. For the old employees of Red Letter, that is an opportunity. Luzixin first of all, Peng Cheng, the first thing is to arrange the Ironhead baby first. Get the locomotive back, and also spend some time, go through the formalities and the like. The ability of T2WA is still not used at present. Brake. That is speeding. Sing, don't mention it, that's terrible. Its innate talent ability is that the mechanical structure has the natural wisdom of the Cybertron star. What complex mechanical structure can be understood at a glance, and even can research and create by itself? At this point, the Ironhead is stronger than the RI-8901. However, this guy didn't worry, so Luzixin arranged a task for RI-8901. When the temporary guardian of Teddy Baby lived with it, lest this guy go out and make trouble. In this regard, T2WA is naturally a strong protest, but it is not useful. Luzixin returned to Red Letter Electronics Science and Technology, and several people came to the office. Suzhirong, Tang Gang, and several vice presidents of the company. The purpose is to explore Luzixin's tone by reporting the business and see what subsidiary Octopus wants to set up. The matter of the subsidiary is not a joke, Luzixin said. I have a less mature idea now, that is, to be a motor vehicle brand. What, motor vehicles? When they heard him, everyone immediately stopped. They guessed a lot, that is, they did not guess that Luzixin would want to be a motor vehicle. This seems to be completely out of line with their current business. Tang Gang was shocked. Octopus, do the car brand, we have no experience at all. Do you have a fancy company and want to buy shares? No, Luzixin shook his head. I mean, to be a completely independent motor vehicle brand, designed and manufactured by ourselves. This, Tang Gang suddenly became speechless. He originally wanted to say that the difficulty was simply to go to heaven. Later, I thought that the things that Red Letter did now are similar, so there is no rebuttal. Suzhirong said directly, if you really want to do it, you still need professional talents, control of the market and technical manufacturing. Do you need to prepare? Yeah, Luzixin is very satisfied with Suzhirong's satisfaction. It seems that Suzhirong understands his character. Since he has already said it, it is to start. As for what can be done, it is a matter of words. The news was quickly spread to the company group. Motorcycles, cars or electric cars, said Lutong. I heard that our lithium-air battery can support electric vehicles? Yao Li, yes, the latest achievement of our new Energy Research Institute, the performance of batteries made with lithium-air batteries is more than 10 times that of ordinary electric vehicles. Now many electric vehicle manufacturers have heard the wind and come to the battery factory to ask if you really do electric cars, you should have a market. Zhuan said, since the battery is so strong, it is better to be an electric car, just like Tesla. Everyone puts a new energy sports car into space with a rocket. When we can do it, we can do it. Yao Li, new energy vehicles are still difficult. The electricity consumption of automobiles is much higher than that of electric vehicles. To make such a battery, the safety factor cannot be guaranteed. However, in another 1 or 2 years, it should be similar. By Bosi, do it, just we can build a branch factory. Liang Song, haha, I think of one thing, Octopus is almost looking for me. Lutong, what? Luzixin also came out and said, "What am I looking for?" Liang Song said, "Our red letter is in the automotive industry, and certainly will not simply do that kind of car, definitely use our red letter cloud intelligence. In the automotive industry, there is absolutely no need for intelligent driverless system. Octopus, is our red letter software going to start researching driverless?" Luzixin, "Great, this is guessed by you, I want to tell you about it." Hanxia, "Unmanned, this is another big challenge." Luzixin asked, "How, is this confident?" Hanxia, "Of course, the intelligent algorithm framework that you made last time in our project department is so useful now. Our red letter cloud intelligent information processing system has grown 10 times more than a few months ago. In terms of traffic, it is one section we pay special attention to. If you want to do the unmanned system, you can start researching immediately." Luzixin immediately said, "Okay, then set up this project immediately and prepare for the future." Unmanned system can only be prepared in advance, because Red Letter has not developed its own car, let alone drone. After explaining some, Luzixin began to study this matter. It is not an easy task to make a motor vehicle independently. Raw materials, mechanical parts, mechanical construction, safety systems, energy use, etc., can be related to things. Luzixin also specially invited practitioners from several related industries to consult, understand relevant knowledge, and comprehensively consider the technology they have mastered. In the mechanical map given by Optimus Prime, there are many new types of mechanical structures, but if you want to make it, you must have materials, industry, and other foundations. It is really troublesome to implement. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 220. 220 High Efficiency Motor. Start making cars directly? Luzixin feels unrealistic. Turning technology into reality requires overcoming many difficulties. In particular, he has acquired the technology that the motor vehicle industry has not yet mastered, and the difficulty factor is multiplied. Before doing a car, you should first do a relatively simple motor vehicle for technical and capital accumulation, such as building a company, a factory, and establishing a complete upstream supply chain and downstream sales chain. Electric cars seem to be the best choice at the moment. Luzixin thought about it, or the electric car is the best place to start. Electric vehicles, widely defined as all electric powered vehicles, but Luzixin thinks, is the two-wheeled electric vehicle that everyone rides in their daily lives, commonly known as small electric eel. Small electric rafts are much simpler to construct than four-wheelers, and they are relatively simple to manufacture and less demanding on the industry. Moreover, even an electric car does not mean that there is no black science and technology. Luzixin asked RI-8901 to look it up in the Simple Mechanical Construction Atlas and quickly found several black science and technology that he could try to develop. The first is multi-core control of intelligent high-efficiency motors, that is, the engines of electric vehicles. It is made of high-strength magnetic steel and incorporates an intelligent control chip that can be instantly activated by electrical or wireless signals. This kind of motor can reduce the current loss and increase the power. Some ordinary electric vehicles can travel on a flat road, but once they climb a slope with a high slope, they are very difficult and even have to reduce the load. But for multi-core control intelligent high-efficiency motors, these are small problems, and the power generated by them can even make users feel the car's accelerated pushback. There is also an electromagnetic brake system. Electromagnetic brakes is an existing technology, but the application level is only on large mechanical equipment, such as mine electric drills, roller coasters and the like. The traditional friction brakes will have instability, such as raining on the rainy days and snowy days, causing the braking effect to deteriorate. Electromagnetic brakes rely on the interaction between the magnetic pole and the magnetic pole to achieve braking. When the metal sheet cuts the magnetic induction line, it will generate eddy current inside the metal, which will generate a magnetic field to resist the motion. In fact, the magnetic brake device does not make direct contact with the car body. Therefore, it will not be affected by external road conditions and weather. Such an electromagnetic brake device often requires a fixed magnetic pole fit, so it is rarely used in a general motor vehicle. Even if some cars are used, they are only electromagnetic brakes, mainly relying on friction braking. In the mechanical map given by Optimus Prime, this technical obstacle has been overcome, and the electromagnetic brake device can be installed on the moving machine, not only the vehicle, but also other sports machines. In addition, there are some designs, such as the body, the transmission, and the like. If carefully built, the electric car can be built to exceed the fuel motorcycle in terms of speed and performance. Of course, the pursuit of speed is the high-end racing type. Luzixon is not considered for the time being. He wants a household electric vehicle first. Only when the products that have been made have a market, and with profit, can we form a virtuous circle and continue to invest in research and development. Don't look at the money earned by Red Letter. Luzixon almost throws 2/3 into research and development. The various subsidiaries of the Red Letter Group add up to 5 R&D centers under construction, more than 100 in the laboratory, and each new project is established. This number will be added. The investment in research and development is as small as $1 million, and more than $1 billion, and has been burning money. This is also a no-brainer. Comparing Red Letter's research is the technical field of breakthrough. For other companies, it is the state support that can't get so much money to invest. In addition to the mechanical equipment and structure, Luzixon believes that improvements are needed and that modifications are needed in the smart direction. He recruited several professionals and discussed them with them. A total of 3 people, one of whom was the professor of mechanical power and engineering at Jiangda, was invited by Luzixon. One is Zhang Sunmei, a 40-something lady who is a bit blessed. She is a senior manager of a car brand and has been resigned and experienced. Another one is Hanjia of Hongxin Software Development Co., Limited. He is also very good at intelligent system. Luzixon said his own ideas, and he thought about it for a while and made the first comment. Compared with other professors, Chen Mu is younger and more than 30. He said, multi-core control intelligent high-efficiency motor has several problems. It uses high-strength magnetic steel material, super hard magnetic alloy, which is it's a bit hard to manufacture. To improve the horsepower of the motor, it is necessary to have a strong current, so the requirements for the battery should be improved. The general electric vehicle battery, if it supports this kind of motor, the power reserve is insufficient, resulting in no endurance. There is also an electromagnetic brake device. There is no problem in the manufacture of an auxiliary electromagnetic brake device. However, if all of the electromagnetic brakes are required, a larger braking force is required, which may cause the metal sheet to overheat. Luzixon nodded. His smart glasses wrote down the words of the professor, and these problems were solved by Luzixon. Zhang Sunmei said, Octopus, if your lithium-air battery can achieve the theoretical effect, I think it is not lacking in the market. So if you just said this, what is your market situation? Luzixon asked. Is it all done? Zhang Sunmei said, if you can really make it, it will definitely be second to none in terms of performance. But now the electric car brands, domestic Emma, Yadi, Liu Yuan, etc. already occupy half of the country. Their products' performance is not bad. There are some foreign brands that are not competitive. In terms of manufacturing costs, they are definitely cheaper and more competitive, so I estimate that the market will not exceed them, but it will not be bad. Luzixon's theoretical electric car, although sounds good, but as a professional, she knows that this manufacturing cost has at least doubled. As the majority of consumers, would they rather spend more than twice the price to buy an electric car? Only a few. Our Red Letter has always been the most advanced product, Luzixon said. So we have to improve its competitiveness and let electric cars be included in smart products. Hanjia surprisedly said, Octopus, do we have to do the driverless electric car first? Autonomous driving is a separate project, doing it, and not doing it now, Luzixen said. Are we not making a smart home system? My idea is to first incorporate our electric car into intelligent management in system, make it a smart product, not an ordinary electric car.